बाबदिल्ला है शहीद करबला बादशाह नैनवा है ज़बी है बेखता हुसैन मिन्नी वाला मिनल हुसैन हुसैन मिन्नी वाला मिनल हुसैन हुसैन मिन्नी वाला मिनल हुसैन हुसैन वाय 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 आय हुसैन वाय 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 मजलूम बेकस तो बेवतन इतना गरीब था शाह ज़मान हाथी पे था तेरा बदन तेरा लहू था तेरा कफन कैसे बुलाए हम वो घड़ी तेरे गले पर चली चुरी खैमे के दर पे पावन करी कहती थी ज़ैनब रोके गई हुसैन वाय 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 हुसैन वाय 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 हर कुल क़ियामा फी करबला वतफ़ दुख़ानो इला समा वक़द नहा मिनल मशरा रादिल वला हामी वलमा मनल्लज़ी सयस्सअदना वसौफ़ यमसह दुमुअना वयस्तमिउ बुकाअना वयशफ़अु अलना हुसैन वाय 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 हुसैन वाय 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 शब हम शब आशिक़ोने है में खुनाम हुसैन हुसैन यदम नमीरे ख़ाबार शबाए बैनुल हरमैन यदश बखाची हाली बोर मिसक्तमा ओंगे बुजोर मस्ती बुदोश गुजनो उबने गाउश कुसजोर हुसैन वाय 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 हुसैन वाय 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 we can control the tears that flow oh master we all want you to know the flame of your love will always glow in our hearts it will only grow today your name runs in our veins when our heart beats it beats your name on our lips is Hussein Hussein when we hear of your grief and pain Hussein why Hussein why तुम्हारा घर कैसे लुट गया कासिम का लाश टुकड़े हुआ सोया था गाजी बाजू बिना अकबर को रन में नेज़ा लगा नन्ना सा असगर खून में नहा तुम्हारा प्यासा गला कटा ज़ैनब के सर से छीनी रेदा सालारे कुनबा आबिद बना हुसैन वाय वाय
नारे तकबीर, नारे रिसालत, नारे हैदरी, आवाज़े बुलंद सलवात। First and utmost, I would like to thank on behalf of myself, Hussaini Mission Executive Committee and Khadam Mahdi, to Syed Imran Qaseem, who accepted our dawah this year and left his responsibilities to come and lecture at Hussaini Mission for 10 days. May Allah prolong his life. Please recite aloud salawat. As all of you are aware, Khadam Mahdi is set up now for the 4th year, Alhamdulillah, under the supervision of Maulana Syed Imran Qaseem. And Khadam Mahdi, as you all aware, relies on public donations and support. And yet again, we fall into that time of year again, where we aim for support and donations to make this majalis a success. So if you do wish to donate, please speak to Brother Sajjad or myself. And from the sisters, if you wish to donate, speak to Sister Tasleem and Sister Nafisa. Ilahud salawat. Before introducing our guest speaker, just a quick introduction. Full name is Syed Imran Qaseem. He was born in India. He came to UK in the year 2000 to work. Since then, he has been living in London. He's been studying in Hausa Ilmiya, England since 2014. His teachers are Sheikh Muhammad Shamali and Sheikh Bahanpur. The topic which he will focus his lectures on is discovering the treasure within. Ilahud salawat. Now, without further ado, I'd like to invite up to the pulpit Syed Imran Qaseem with Ilahud salawat.
Before I begin to say anything, please recite a Surah Fatiha for all the Madhumi and the Mu'min. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata allazina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله والصلاة والسلام وعلى خير خلقه ونور الأرشه أفضل الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيبنا وسيدنا وسندنا وشفيعنا ومولانا أبو القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين. أما بعد، قال الله تعالى في كتابه الكريم وقوله الحق وفي الأرض آية للموقنين وفي أنفسكم أفلا يبصرون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. All praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has given us this life in this world, and He has given us unfathomable mercy and a complete book to us so that we may stay upright. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has completed His mercy on us and given us the best possible guides and the best role models possible. Do you agree? Yes. Don't say quiet. I want you to say anything you want in the middle, okay? Relevant things, not irrelevant things, okay? Inshallah. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the best role models. You know who we're talking about? The Aimma and Salam? They are the best role models for us. And it is my honor to be in your community, to be able to speak on the first 10 nights of of the Muharram of the year 1440 after Hijri. Thank you to Brother Saflain and thank you to all the organizers who have asked me to come here and thought of me as somebody who could give some wisdom or some thoughts that you might be able to benefit from. I also would like to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving me the tawfiq to be able to come here. It's been a very challenging first half of the year for me, our family particularly, and I'm very, very grateful and immeasurably thankful to my wife, Dr. Lali Fatima, who is not here. Without her, I wouldn't be here. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, I'm here as a servant of the Ahlul Bayt of the Holy Prophet of Islam. And my only dua is that I do justice to the message of Abu Abdullah Hussain alayhi salam. Now, not everybody likes every speaker. Some like some like others, right? And all I pray to Allah is that what I convey to you from the message of Imam Hussain alayhi salam is something that you might like. My goal is that at least you take at least one thing, if not more, at least one thing from what I say here. I might not be the most famous or the most interesting of speakers, I might not be the most passionate, but I can tell you something, that the matter I'm going to talk about is of utmost importance and very, very relevant in all our communities in this day and age. So please, even if I'm boring, take something from it. Not from me, but from the words I speak. Okay? Salawat ala Muhammad wa Sorry, is the echo already? Can you reduce the echo? No, I don't want echo. Perfect, thank you. Yeah, perfect. So, let me tell you something. I'm standing here. I'm not deserving, but I'm standing here only because I want to benefit myself as well. Just as I pray that you also benefit from what I say or what I convey. My approach is academic. You will not hear a lot of shouting from me. It's going to be very academic, so you have to be concentrating on what I say.
MashaAllah.
Thank you very much. I welcome you all by saying Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is my great pleasure to say that this is a school of love. These gatherings that we have in the month of Muharram, in the month of Ramadan, in Arba'in, this is a school of love. I'm very, very passionate about this. Nobody forces any of you to come in here, to spend your time and listen to somebody whom you don't know. You don't know what he's going to say. Right? But you come here, you don't even have to pay to come here. You're not admitted to a school as such, but this is just your love for the Prophet of Islam and his holy progeny that you come here. And you hope that I have been given an opportunity to stand here or sit down here on the pulpit, that I give you something that you take away which is a benefit for you. Right? So, most of us, the elder ones here, who've been attending majalis year on and year on due to this love. They know what person who's going to come is going to speak. There's a little difference every year. Somebody will talk about Islam, about the prophets, about Aimah, about fiqh maybe, about character building. You have a rough idea what's going to come. And hopefully every year we have something different a little bit. But why do you still come here? Of course there is love for Abu Abdullah Hussain alayhi salam. But we need these important times of the year to reinvigorate our iman. That's the main reason we come here. There are a lot of things you love, a lot of people you love, but you don't do something which is, outside of your comfort zone. But this is something that you do. You've had a day work, 2 days of work, and the evening when you could be relaxing at home with your family, you come here, you sit down on the floor, and you spend time listening to what this person is going to say today. I just want to point out one thing, that whatever I'm going to say is going to be from my heart. I'm not an orator, I'm not somebody who rails about. I want to speak something which is relevant to your lives and my life. And I want this to be a beginning of something for all of us.
MashaAllah.
For all of us, you know. It's going to be very simple. Whatever I'm going to say, I hope it hits your heart, because it's coming from my heart. Right? Maybe not too many narrow-headedness, maybe I'm not that kind of person who rails about so that you can get passionate about it. But it is going to be important what I say. If people say good things about you, then do not start bigging yourself. You understand the term, bigging yourself up? I'm something. Let us all remain humble. This is one of the messages of Imam Hussaini alayhi salam. Right. Brothers and sisters, you must be wondering about my topic that I've chosen to discuss. We are assembled here on the eve, not an eve, depending on what date you follow. It is the 1st of Muharram. It's the beginning of a new year. All the communities that I know of begin their new year with celebration, with joy. You know, except this community of ours, who begins their new year with sadness and sorrow. Why is that? When younger members of the family, they have the right to ask this question. They see year after year, mom and dad, brothers and sisters, uncle and aunts go and cry when Muharram comes in. And apparently it's the new year of Islam. Why is it with sadness that we start a new year? Now, I say, it is very, very basic and very, very simple. It is natural, I say. You have the right to ask me how come I'm saying it's natural and very, very basic. Is that right? Can I explain it to you? Loud salawat. Let me say, give you the example of life. When a baby is born, he or she screams his lungs out. Right or wrong? Yeah. If he or she does not cry, the doctor or the midwife, whoever it might be, gives a proper slap to make them cry. Right? And when they cry, everybody is relieved. Everybody is happy that this baby is breathing. He's taken a full full lung full of air. And its air passages are open now and it will survive. Inshallah. So, let's check out. This is why I say it's very natural, it's very basic. You get my point? Yeah? So let's check out what is the Islamic position on crying. I'm going to give you a few translations of verses and some translations of hadith. Okay? And you check this out, whether I'm saying it right or wrong. There are reasons why we cry. It is not just something we made up. The Quran tells us that crying can be good for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that those who are on truth, they cry when they hear the verses of the Quran. So tears are a sign of perceiving the realities and accepting the truth. Surah Ma'idah, verse 83, the translation goes, and when they hear what has been revealed to the apostle, you will see their eyes overflowing with tears on account of the truth that they recognize. They say, our Lord, we believe, so write us down with the witnesses of the truth. So, hearers of truth, when they realize the truth, they cry. It's a sign of repentance. Crying is a sign of repentance. Surah Tawbah, translation of verse 82. Therefore, they shall laugh little and weep much as a recompense for what they earned. It's a sign of repentance. Shedding tears of belief is a sign of wisdom and humility towards God. This is according to the Quran as well. Surah Isra, verse 108 and 109, the translation goes, and they say, glory be to our Lord, most surely the promise of our Lord was to be fulfilled. And they fall down on their faces weeping, and it adds to their humility. The prophets shed tears for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's look at Surah 19, verse 58. When the communications of the beneficent God were recited to them, that is the prophets, they fell down making obeisance and weeping. So tears are a remedy for those who have gone astray. Surah Najm, verse 57 to 60, translation goes, the near event draws nigh. There shall be none besides Allah to remove it. Do you then wonder at this announcement? And will you laugh and not weep? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also talks about people whose hearts have hardened like stones, even worse than that. He says in Surah Baqarah, translation of verse number 74, then your hearts became hardened after that, being like stones or even harder. For indeed there are stones from which rivers burst forth, and there are some of them that split open and water comes out, and there are some of them that fall down for the fear of Allah, and Allah is not unaware of what you do. So the Quran, according to the Quran, the signs of hearts that are soft and fearful of Allah is the watering of the eyes and shedding of tears. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in it's narrated from him in Muharram, volume 79, page 91. The translation goes like this: verily, tears are a mercy that Allah has placed in the essence of His servants, that is the human beings. This is a narration from Rasulullah. Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib in Mustadrak al-Wasail has been quoted as saying, crying out of fear of Allah illuminates the heart and prevents a person from returning to past sins. Sayyid al-Shuhada Imam Hussaini in Mustadrak al-Wasail has been quoted as saying, crying due to fear of Allah brings deliverance from hell. Right? The Prophet ﷺ said, again this is in Amali of Sheikh Mufid, there are no drops more beloved by Allah than two. No drops more beloved by Allah than two. A drop of blood that has been shed due to sacrifice in the way of Allah, and a tear that flows from the eyes in the dark of the night due to the fear of Allah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. It's important to take from here, not just to cry for the sake of crying. What is important here is to fear our own actions and deeds, our next life, Allah's justice, and then cry on it. Spend time on reflection. It is very important. You know, doing salat, fasting, good, excellent. Paying sadaqah, charity, excellent. But reflect on it. What is your intention? Why are you doing your salah? Why are you fasting so much? Who are you doing it for? Why are you paying your sadaqah? Who are you trying to show off to? Is your intention sincere? These things reflect upon it. Imam Jafar Sadiq al-Islam it's quoted from him, if I'm correct, that 1 hour of reflection is better than 100 nights of prayer. See the importance of reflection? When you reflect, when you sit down and think, what have I done this for? Why did I do that? Normally we reflect when we get into trouble, isn't it? I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to get into trouble now. What's mom going to say? What's teacher going to say? What's my dad going to say? So that's when we're reflecting. But do we actually sit down, especially our elder people? Do we actually sit down from our hectic schedules and spend 15 minutes reflecting? That is very, very important. That amount of reflection can affect your future deeds, future thought process, future actions. That can be really, really, really important and can have an impact on your life day to day. So going back to the point, let's be clear. Crying, which comes very naturally to us in these gatherings, is not a bid'ah or innovation that some people or some groups might like to say. It is not an innovation. The greatest example of a crier in the Quran, who is it? Anybody? Nobody? Come on. You all know this. Don't be shy. Sorry? Yaqub alayhi salam. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We all knew this, right? Nobody wanted to say it. Yeah? They knew it. Everybody knew it. But brothers took the amount for everybody to say that. So congratulations. So yes, the Quran talks about Yaqub alayhi salam crying. He knew his son was alive, he was a prophet of God, but he cried for years and years till he became blind. So any time we cry sincerely, when we're doing a form of salat, any kind of worship, salat, or recitation of a supplication, or seeking permission to enter a shrine when we go for ziyarah, if tears come out, it is a sign that our worship might have been accepted. Genuinely, because tears don't come out for nothing, especially men. They don't want to cry, especially when we live in the UK. It's very important. There's a thing about not crying. Men don't cry. So when we cry, there is something sincere going on. Something has touched you. That's why you cry. If we have that level of sincerity, what we call ikhlas, sincerity is a very poor translation. But if we have that level of ikhlas in our salah, and we shed a tear or two, remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just knowing that maybe this worship might have been accepted. Don't cry because you want to make your worship be accepted. I'm going to cry now so that my worship gets accepted. No, no, no. You put it in your heart. The sincerity, the ikhlas, tears will come out automatically. We just realize who we are standing in front of. Tears will come out. So, this was just a preamble, and today's lecture is just an introductory bit. Going back to our topic of discovering the treasure within. You must be wondering, what is this kind of a heading for a topic? Let me tell you a story. I'll tell you two stories if you have the patience. I'll test your patience. It's a very famous one amongst Buddhists. It's an allegory, of course, it's not a true story. It is called A Jewel in the Robe. You understand a jewel? All of you? A robe? You understand what a robe is called? A jewel in the robe. So there was a time when two friends got together. One was a rich man who was a public servant. He was fairly rich. He invited another friend of his to come over, who was not very rich, was just a normal person, not very well off. And he gave him food and wine and all that stuff. They enjoyed, chatted, and the friend of the rich guy who had come to visit him, he was so inebriated that he fell asleep after having all that food and drink. But this rich person had to go to attend some important matter. He had to go on a journey. But the friend whom he had invited, he fell asleep. But he wanted to give a very important gift to his friend. It was the jewel. It was a kind of a jewel which could help in fulfilling any desire you have, any issue you have. But he was sleeping. So what did he do? He thought the best thing to do is to sew the jewel onto the robe. So he sewed it onto the robe, stitched it onto it. Anyway, and then he went on. So this friend of his, when he woke up, he saw that his other friend is gone. So he went on to his place wherever he wanted to go, and as time passed on, he became poor for some reason, fell in hard times, traveled through many places, many countries. And after a long time, he again met his rich friend. And the rich friend was surprised to see he was such in a bad shape. So he asked him what happened. To cut a long story short, this friend told him all his troubles and travails. And then the rich friend said, but you had the jewel which would fulfill any desire of yours. It was on your robe, I stitched it. But he did not know. The other guy did not know. You could have solved many of his problems with the help of that jewel. This is one story. Did you gather what I was trying to say here? I'll come to the point again. Let me tell you another story, with your permission. Is that okay?
MashaAllah.
Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Anybody here read the book called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho? Anybody? Raise your hand. Nobody. Okay. It's a very, very famous book. It's called The Alchemist, written 28 years ago. It has sold 150 million copies worldwide. It was written by a Brazilian author, his name is Paulo Coelho, as I said, and it has been translated into 80 languages. Even after 28 years, that book is still in the bestseller of the New York Times. Now, I'm not here to advertise the book, but you might as well read it if you get a chance. So, it is about a young man. Just tell you a snippet of that story. Basically, the theme is what I want to convey here. about discovering the hidden treasure within. So it's about a young boy who was a shepherd called Santiago in Spain. He was sleeping under a tree, a sycamore tree, in the ruins of a church in Spain, in his local village. And he saw a dream that a boy was telling him that there is a treasure hidden for him under the pyramids in Egypt. So he woke up. He asked a gypsy, "What does this mean?" So she said, "You should venture out and travel to Egypt and get the treasure from the base of the pyramids. And the deal is that if you find the treasure, you give me 1/10 of it." He said, "Fine." So he decided to travel. You know where Spain is and where Egypt is, right? In half a century ago, it was much more difficult than it is now to travel. So he decided to travel. Santiago went on across the seas into Morocco, Tangier, went through a lot of trouble, made some money on the way as well, went through, got robbed as well. On the way to Egypt, he met an Englishman who was studying alchemist. You know, the people who study stones or metals, so they can turn the metal into something more precious. So he met this guy, and that person taught him something about the soul of the world. It was very interesting what he learned from him. Anyway, after a lot of trouble, I'm just cutting the story short, it's very interesting, but if I speak out here, you'll be bored. So he reached Egypt and the pyramids. And then he started digging. When he was digging, two guys approached him, they were robbers, and they started asking him for money. He had no money, he had been traveling all the way for so many days, many months. So they beat him up. And he said, "All I'm doing is I'm digging for the treasure. I've had a dream that there's a treasure in here." And they laughed at him. I said, "Well, keep searching for the treasure." Of course, they realized he had no money, so left him alone. He found no treasure over there. After a lot of disappointment, he came back, traveled all the way back to Spain. Under the same church, in the same church, under the same tree, he found the treasure. It was right there. Whatever was told in the dream, it was there, on that tree. So, you get the theme, what I'm trying to say? I've told you two stories, and both, we see that the treasure was right there, either in him, on him, or somewhere next to him. So this is what I mean by discovering the treasures within. I didn't want to put you to sleep, but after all this time you've had day's work and you come here, I don't tell you stories to put you to sleep, but there's an important message in the stories, that we have to dig within ourselves to find the treasure ourselves. So what does Islam say about these kind of treasures? What does Imam Ali alayhi salam say about it? There's a poem which is ascribed to Imam Ali alayhi salam. It says, "O man, the cure to your ailment is within you and you do not know. And your pain is also from you, but you do not see. Do you suppose that you're only a small body? Well, the universe is enfolded within you. O man, you are a clear book with whose letters every invisible thing becomes visible." Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, this poem has not got a sanad, a proper sanad. It's not narrated in first-hand Shia Hadith sources, but the literary and mystical works authored by 7th century Islamic writers, they have written this as ascribed to Imam Ali alayhi salam, that Imam Ali had said this. The content of these poems are acceptable and very profound. That is my main thing here. Such traditions and sayings are those that even if we cannot find their chain, we can see that these are so deep that a normal person can't say this. It has to be from Masoom. It is very sublime. So, what have we reflected upon till now? We realize, people, all of us, realize through instinct, or we are told that there's a treasure, which is something very expensive within you. You should find this treasure, and you cannot rest in peace until you find this treasure. We ensure hardships to hunt for this treasure. And what if we dig deep within us, we will find it. And once we find it, it guarantees eternal happiness. Eternal happiness is not by gaining things. The ones who gain things all the time are poor. Because why would they gain things? If I already have something, if I have contentment, I don't need anything. Right? If I keep saying, I want this, I want that, mobile phone, iPad, next iPhone, new car, new house, new curtains, every time it's changing. New watch, whatever it is. There is no limit. We'll be remaining the same poor person that we've always been. Because our wants are unlimited. Right? We don't need anything. Our wants are unlimited. And until we achieve contentment in ourselves, we'll always remain poor. Let me tell you this clearly. A person who has nothing and is content is very, very comfortable. He has eternal happiness. The Quran also says about this. You know, the verses that I read in the beginning of this program. Allah is saying He has placed signs in the world for those who have certainty and also in the souls. So will you not see? Yes, it is the human soul which contains the treasure of God within us, yet we pass our lives heedless of it. Most of us pass our lives heedless of it. It's not something that I have and you don't have. No. Just because I'm standing here doesn't mean that I know everything. Many of you have worked on it and are working on it. Many of you haven't worked on it, haven't bothered about it. That is very important to consider. It's a balance of things. Like in the ancient time, people used to bury their treasures, inside the ground, in iron boxes, so that they won't get stolen. They are inside the ground, and even nature would not be able to destroy it. And then they would put snakes and scorpions and all that stuff on top of it, so that nobody goes near that. Oh, it's a dangerous place. That's exactly what we have within ourselves. Our snakes and scorpions are our bad thoughts and our bad character traits, our bad actions. Those are the snakes and the scorpions that are covering our goodness most of the time. And we don't know that they are covering. Somebody is criticizing somebody. Why? Somebody is having a fight with somebody. Why? He is wrong, she's wrong. No. Look within yourself. Sort out the problem within you first, then look at somebody else. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
So the Quran is very clear about it. Imam Ali alayhi salam in that poem, he says that man has a soul in addition to material and physical body. Yeah, it has, everybody has a soul. We think that the soul is within our bodies. It's not. I'm not going to discuss philosophy here, otherwise it will go drag on like crazy. Soul is not inside the body. The body is confined within our soul. Let me just put it like this. And it is attached. Because the body has a soul attached to it, we are alive in this material world. It's not the soul goes out, like we always say, uski ruh nikal gayi, or his soul has left the body. No. Soul, the body is contained by the soul. It engulfs the body. But let's not go there. That's for another time. I mean, there is reason, or even intellect, even in the human physics, if we consider man just as a body, we will find him superior to all other beings, any animals, because he has intellect. He has potentialities and a capacity to achieve things which none other creation can. Do you agree or not? Yes. Yeah. We all have potentialities that can make us awliya. Allah can also make us Fir'aun. Everybody has that potentiality and the capacity. It depends on which way you take. So, Amir al-Mu'mineen again said, this is from Quran al-Hikam, self is like a precious jewel. Am I shooting off time now?
محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Amir al-Mu'mineen said, self is like a precious jewel. Whoever strives for his protection, it will help him attaining exalted positions. And whoever acted negligently in his protection, it shall pull him down towards humiliation. We all call ourselves Shiyan Ali. Amir al-Mu'mineen is saying this. If we don't go up, it will not take us to an exalted position. It will pull us down. I won't talk about science and all that, but I want to talk about Carl Jung. I don't know whether you've heard of Carl Jung. He's spelled as Jung, but he's pronounced Jung. He was a Swiss psychiatrist and a psychoanalyst. He has done a lot of work on the soul, and I wanted to talk about his feelings, but I won't. What I want to just conclude my topic on today is that the treasure we need to unearth is within our souls. That's what we need to do. That's what is discovering the treasure within. The guidelines are within the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The message has been explained by 124,000 prophets and finally consolidated by our last prophet. The Imams came one by one to take us on this treasure, hunt, holding our hand. But we haven't actually gone with them as much as we should have. When we call ourselves Shia and Ali, we have to be very, very careful. That definition means that we follow them. We follow them, not just love them. Lots of people love Ali and all the Aimma. But when you say Shia means a strong word, it's a very strong word. You cannot just say, I'm a Shia of Ali. No, you're not. You might be lovers of the Aimma, but are we actually following Imam Ali alayhi salam? That's a challenge. Think about it. Reflection. So we'll talk about discovering the treasure, the traces that we need to work on as we go through the nights. And tonight we will talk about these great people who sacrificed all they had in this world to uplift us and reach our potential. We talk of the heroes of Karbala, the entire group of people, men, women and children, who accompanied our beloved Imam Hussain on this mission. We also renew our intention of following them. We renew our intention of following them. Are you listening to me? We renew our intention of following them. If you listen to me, say Nara Haydari, please.
Nara Haydari. Ya.
We renew our intention of following them, emulating them, and applying their examples in our lives so that their sacrifice does not go to waste. It's not good enough just coming to Majalis and going home and having a good time, eating food and going to sleep. No, no, no. We need to work on ourselves. Any knowledge that is not acted upon becomes a burden and a sin leading to destructions. Any knowledge that you have in any field, you need to act upon it, otherwise it's a waste. It's no good. We start by recollecting the events that led to the tragedy of Karbala. We have recently been celebrating a few Eids in the previous month, and one of them was the Eid of Ghadir, the event of Ghadir. But the Prophet identified Imam Ali alayhi salam as his successor to a large gathering of Hujjaj on their way back from the pilgrimage, right? He said, Man kuntu mawla fa haza aliyun mawla. To whomsoever I am the Mawla, this Ali is also his Mawla. Did he say that or not?
Yeah.
He did. But the people forgot it for worldly gains. Imam Ali was not given his right after the event of Ghadir. The Islamic leadership was taken by others. People gathered on the door of Fatima Salamullah to extract allegiance from Imam Ali. The tragedy started unfolding for the household of the Prophet immediately after Ghadir. The first one to stand up in defense of truth was none other than the beloved daughter of the Prophet ﷺ. May our souls be sacrificed for her. She resisted and her door was set to fire. The door with nails was broken while she was standing behind it. She was challenging the Ummah, reminding of the Prophet's legacy, reminding of the position of the Ahlul Bayt. The door fell on her, the nail pierced into her chest. It broke the ribs on her delicate body, and the fetus in the womb was destroyed. Mohsin was miscarried. We have reports of Qunfuz, the slave, who whipped Lady Zahra Salamullah, about whom the Prophet had told that she was the chief of paradise, chief of ladies in paradise. Her sons, Imam Hassan and Hussain, were the leaders of the youth in paradise. And her husband, Ali alayhi salam, would be the one to divide the people of heaven and hell. She died in 70 or 90 days, whatever hadith you take, after the death of the Prophet of Islam, at the age of 18. Spending the days after the death of her father, lamenting, lost rights of the Ahlul Bayt and the tragedies that the Ummah inflicted on the Ahlul Bayt, but most of all, she lamented on the fate of people. The people were choosing by rejecting the correct guidance. She lamented on them. She was the first martyr of Ghadir, and we pay our salams to her on this day of Muharram. Her martyrdom set the stage for all the events that unfolded in Karbala. I have some observations that I have, but I will not talk about it now because they will take some time. So I'll go heading to the Messiah of tonight. We need to change the culture in our houses. We need to change the culture. Muharram is not just about the first 10 or 11 days. After Ashura, it all starts to stabilize and we go back to our normal duties. It's not just about that. Ashura is the height of atrocities. It's the height of atrocities. Once we go into a height, we come down. But the height of atrocities continued till Kufa, till Sham, till Arba'in. Only then the direct oppression of the enemies started to come down. The sadness of the Ahlul Bayt did not diminish just because of Arba'in. The sadness remained, and we have to show through our demeanor. It's not just about wearing black, it's about our hearts. It's about putting it in our hearts that we are sad. It's not just saying by words, it's our demeanor, our behavior. All Anbiya cry for Imam Hussain in this month. Lady Fatima Zahra is in tears. When Imam Hussain was born, Jibreel Amin came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and asked, "Oh Ahmad, do you love this child?" Rasulullah said, "Certainly, I love this grandson of mine." Then Jibreel told Rasulullah that the people of your ummah will oppress this grandson of yours and keep him thirsty for 3 days and then kill him mercilessly. It was the first majlis of Imam Hussain alayhi salam that was recited by Jibreel, and Rasulullah was listening to it, and Rasulullah was crying after it. Rasulullah recited the majlis for Imam Hussain, and Lady Zahra and Imam Ali alayhi salam were listening to it. They were listening to it and they were crying. Lady Zahra salamullah alayh did not ask, "Why should my Hussein die?" She did not ask, "Who will bury my Hussein?" She did not ask her father, "Who will give kafan to Hussein?" She asked her father, "Who will cry for my Hussein? Who will cry for my Hussein?" She knew that it will not be philosophy or discussion, but only through tears that her son's sacrifice will be remembered through the ages. For 1400 years, it is through tears that Imam Hussein's sacrifice and message has survived. Rasulullah replied to his daughter that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will create a nation of people whose men will cry for Hussein, whose men will cry for the men of Hussein, whose women will cry for the women of Hussein, and whose children will cry for the children of Hussein. Sometimes a comparison is made between Imam Hussain alayhi salam and Prophet Yahya alayhi salam. Both were killed brutally by their opponents. According to narrations, both had a very gentle nature. Imam Hussain was a person who radiated gentleness. He was so gentle that he could not bear to see anyone cry. Imam Hussain himself would break into tears very easily. And that is why we always hear that Rasulullah and the Ahlul Bayt would cry whenever Hussain cried as a child. Many times Rasulullah would be preaching to his ashab in his masjid, and Sayyidah Zahra would dress up Imam Hussain and send him to the masjid. Her house was attached to the masjid. As little children do, Hussain would run to his grandpa and trip on his robes and fall down. Hearing Hussein's cries when he fell down, Rasulullah would stop his khutbah. So one by one, the ashab would pick up the child, kiss him, and pass him on to the sahaba in front of him. till the young Hussein reached Rasulullah on the mimbar, and Rasulullah would place him on his lap and announce, "Haza Hussein fa'arifahu. Hussein minni wa ana min al-Hussein." This is my grandson Hussein, recognize him. Hussein is from me and I am from Hussein. When Rasulullah was in his last moments, the whole family was present around him. Imam Ali alayhi salam tried to send the two grandsons away, but Rasulullah said, "Leave Hassan and Hussein. They are a coolness to my heart." A few months later, Lady Zahra passed away, and Imam Ali, after doing the ghusl and the kafan, let her body lay in state in a room. He called out his children, "Ya Hassan, Ya Hussein, Ya Zainab, Ya Kulthum, come and pay your respects to your mother, as this is the last time you will see her." Hussein did not come and kept crying in the corner. Allama Majlisi quotes from Imam Ali alayhi salam that I saw the hands of Zahra come out of the kafan, and they beckoned to her children, "Come, my Hassan and Hussein." He said, "I swear by Allah, when the children came, those hands hugged the children." Amir al-Mu'mineen says that I heard a voice from above, "Ya Abul Hassan, remove the children from Zahra. By Allah, the angels are weeping. By Allah, the angels are weeping." Years passed by. Hussein grew up to be a young man, and in the year 40 Hijri, Amir al-Mu'mineen was struck, and the poison was so strong that his face turned yellow due to the effects of bleeding and the poison. He was covered with a yellow sheet, and it was difficult to tell the face from the sheet. Imam Hussein sat near the foot of his father and was crying, and Amir al-Mu'mineen called him close to him and hugged him and said, "Oh Hussein, do not cry, because you have a lot to cry for later on in life." The year 50 Al-Hijrah comes, and Imam Hassan was poisoned. Imam Hussein sat next to his brother and was shedding tears of sadness. Imam Hassan said to Imam Hussein, "My brother, why do you cry like this?" To which Imam Hussein replied, "I cannot bear to see you in this condition." Then Imam Hassan said to his younger brother, "Walakin la yawmuka yawmuk ya Aba Abdullah." There is no day like yours, O Hussein. Who will cry for you, O Hussein? Hussein was left with Zainab and Kulthum. The year 60 came around, and mid-Rajab of the year, Muawiyah died, and Yazid La'natullah came to the throne, and he sent a message to the governor of Medina, Walid ibn Utbah, to demand bay'ah from Hussein ibn Ali. He must pledge allegiance, or he must be forced to do so. A messenger came to Imam Hussein and delivers the message that the governor has summoned him. Imam Hussein realizes that something is wrong, because the summons came to him in the evening. Imam told the messenger that he will see Walid shortly. Imam came home and asked the youth of Bani Hashim to come along with him to see Walid in that court. He asked all his young men to wait outside and not come in unless they heard his voices raised. When he went inside, Marwan bin Hakam was also sitting with Walid. Walid gave the message that Muawiyah had died. Imam Hussein replied, "Inna lillah wa inna alayhi raji'un." Then Walid said, "Yazid has taken over and has sent a letter asking for your allegiance." Imam Hussein replied, "O Walid, it is not appropriate for somebody like me to give allegiance to somebody like Yazid, and that too in the secrecy of the night. Speak with me tomorrow in daylight in front of everyone, and I will give you my reply." That moment, Marwan the wicked said to Walid, "O Walid, don't let Hussein go. Take allegiance from Hussein now, otherwise you will never get him again. Take allegiance from Hussein or kill him now." To that, Imam Hussein raised his voice in anger and said to Marwan that, "Marwan, you the son of an unchaste woman, are you going to kill me? Do you have the audacity to kill me? Or will it be Walid who is going to kill me?" As soon as Imam raised his voice, the doors of the court of Walid were thrown open, and the youth of Bani Hashim walked in with unsheathed swords. And the two wicked men realized that they could not force Hussein to do bay'ah at this moment. Imam Hussein went home and spoke to the family members, and that they have to leave Medina later on in the night. It was decided some of the family members were to stay back. Salama, Al-Baneen, Abdullah bin Jafar, Muhammad Hanafiya, and Imam's young daughter Fatima Sughra were to stay back. The others were supposed to go with Hussein ahead towards Mecca. All started preparing to leave. Sheikh Saduq says in his Amadi that Imam Hussein went for the ziyarah to the grave of his grandfather. Imam had always been in Medina and always gone for ziyarah for his grandfather. Tonight, Hussein was weeping badly. He wept for such a long time that he fell unconscious. And then he had a vision in his unconscious state when he saw Rasulullah come into his vision. And he said to Rasulullah, "Oh grandfather, such affliction has fallen on me. Why don't you pray to Allah to take me away from this world?" He heard Rasulullah reply, "Oh Hussein, I can see you now rolling in your blood. You have a rank in Jannah with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you will not attain without martyrdom. Oh Hussein, leave for Iraq." Hussein left the grave and came home. Abdullah ibn Abbas came to Hussein and said, "Ibn Rasulullah, why do you leave Medina? Stay in Medina, we will defend you." Imam replied, "Oh Ibn Abbas, Allah wants to see me martyred." Ibn Abbas said, "Then why do you take Zainab with you? Why do you take the women with you? Take the men only." Imam replied, "Ibn Abbas, Allah wants to see them captive. Allah wants to see them captive." Sheikh Saduq replied, "Then Imam went to the grave of his brother and wept. Then he headed to the grave of his mother. Some chapters of Azhar say that whenever Hussein visited his grandfather, he walked with dignity and tranquility, as if a mountain had come to see Rasulullah. But when Imam Hussein went to visit his mother, he would run to the grave as if a little child is running to his mother's arms. I do not know what he said to his mother on that evening, but he surely would have said, "Oh Ummah, this is my last ziyarah to you. Oh Ummah, after this day, Hussein will not come to do salam to you." It would not be surprising if a voice came from the grave crying, "Go, O Hussein, I will be with you, and I will follow you, O Hussein. Wherever you go, Zahra is going to be with you. Wa Husseina, wa Mazluma, wa Husseina, wa Mazluma. Ala ranatullah ala qawmi zalimeen. Sayalamu allazina ayyamun qaribeen."